Major funding for this program is provided by the Ford Foundation. Additional funding was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the following funders.
Who's that? You alright?
What is that? Blood on the wall?
You can't have a society that doesn't raise its children properly. You don't have civilization. What you have is chaos.
Hold on, what's the problem? What's the problem? You got some crack here.
She been smoking dope back.
You can't sell crack. You cannot condemn our people to that.
Hey, partner.
50% of the people in prison is black. And you ain't learned a damn thing yet.
Think of the word tough, because if you're bad don't mean you're tough. Tough means that you can make it out here. Tough is that you declare to yourself in the mirror that you are somebody. That's being tough.
The choice is always yours. If you're black, you're only one bad decision away. So you better make the right decision.
Mr. Marshall, teacher / street soldier leader, armed with education and motivation, got plans to save a nation from hood disease, but he needs more soldiers with the heart to do their part, cause it's a war. We can't lose any more black lives, the street lives, gunfights, a living trife, alright? Omega Boys Club shows love for real, job skills and tools to build a future for our peoples.
The People's Station 106 KMEL, welcome to Street Soldiers. Here are your hosts, Joe Marshall and Margaret Norris.
Good evening, everyone.
Street Soldiers is a call-in show for teenagers that aims to reduce violence and save lives.
Night on Street Soldiers.
You're on the air.
My name is Carmen Mitchell. One of my 14-year-old brothers, he just got out of jail for murder. And now they want to kill the person who killed my mother.
Week after week, the program serves as a kind of electronic parent for youth prone to violence.
Is this one of the brothers?
Yes, this is.
Do you know what your sister's calling about?
Yeah, he killed my mama, and I'm going back to get him no matter what. I don't care.
I'm going to give you something to care about.
It is broadcast to an audience of up to 200,000 listeners every week.
I know.
No, you listen to this, little fella.
You can learn another way.
Are you willing to try a new way?
Yeah.
Really? Now
The program is one of the projects of a grassroots community organization, the Omega Boys Club in San Francisco. The club's executive director and driving force is Joe Marshall Jr.
What motivated Jack and I to start the Omega Boys Club was, we always say it was the loss of our own students.
As a public school teacher in San Francisco, Marshall noticed that increasing numbers of his inner city students, good kids, were becoming involved in drugs and gangs.
I think what Jack and I both came to realize that working with these kids 180 days a year, 55 minutes a day, wasn't producing the results that he or I wanted.
In 1987, he co-founded the Omega Boys Club with Jack Jacqua, a school guidance counselor. Since then, the Omega Boys Club has evolved into a place where at-risk youth can find a surrogate family, as here at the club's weekly meeting. They can also find academic training and, remarkably, college scholarships.
I'm studying aeronautical engineering. I'm a double major now with physics, and this semester I got 3.8, so I'm happy.
In just 9 years, the club has sent more than 150 youth to college, some literally going from the jailhouse to the schoolhouse.
Your college degree, I carry mine with me everywhere.
Because of their great success, Marshall and the club have gained national recognition.
Children and restoring their belief in themselves and in their future, we are honored.
This documentary is a portrait of the people in the program of the Omega Boys Club.
This is a phenomenon.
It features the stories of 3 juvenile offenders struggling to turn their lives around with Omega's help. And the youth help tell their own stories using home video cameras.
Dogtown G's running loose, out the gunning for the loot. Cash, credit cards, keys to the Cherokee, it's all about to come up, so nigga, fuck a felony.
One of my homeboys did this Jack at,
And our victim was coming out of right there. I was waiting for the guy to come. So when he came, I was the first one to put the gat to his head. Then come out your cash, and your keys, and your versatile card. We had him in a Jeep just like this one. Had him in the back. When I first started doing dirt, it was like, you know what I'm saying, I was about 15. It was just that, you know, I wanted to be a part of my home, you know, part of the crew, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? My partners do it, I'm gonna do it.
The way he came to the club's attention is special, because it was as a result of a beef, a very heated exchange with Joe Marshall.
I wanted to whip his ass, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to get with him, I wanted to break his neck.
I went to the head of the lunch line.
I didn't know he was gonna teach it till he turned around. Yeah. I was like, man, who was that?
Well, he said, who's that nigga in the front of us line?
He just cut all us.
He cut all of you.
About 30 kids.
Got right in front of everybody. And you felt that he had disrespected you.
When he broke that glass as he left school, I said, oh, this brother is hot. You know, you guard somebody in basketball? That's the way I was on him. He moved, I moved. We was chest to chest. I never touched him, but I was like, you know, Michael Cooper guarding Larry Bird. I mean, I was shadowing the brother. And that was threatening to him, because when brothers get that close to you, you know, it means something. It's on, right? It's imminent. The next thing I stood up and I said, now you're gonna listen. You know, I'm gonna tell you about you. And I think the next words I told him was, you a time bomb going off. Yeah. And that seemed to have, that I think broke the ice, you know, crushed the dam, started to break down the walls. And after that, then he became human. And my big thing then was getting him up here to the boys club so we could work on the issues that I knew had to be worked on.
I was gonna come to the meetings. And I said, all right, I'm gonna come. But at the time, I was just saying I'm gonna come just for him to leave me alone. So I thought me saying that, he would just leave me alone and I wouldn't have to come over there no more. But instead, he came looking for me all the time, calling my house, wondering was I coming to the meetings, actually harassing me.
The first step in Omega's treatment plan is to eliminate the risk factors, begin to get the young person to look at those things that are putting him at risk of violent situations. And certainly, Enoch's life up to that point had been fairly violent.
Brothers used to get smoked in there every night. Right here where I got fools trying to smoke me at. Some fools came from right down here. And they stopped right there and said, what's up now, nigga? I just looked at them. I ain't had no beef with them. They had beef with my partners, I guess, and they just zoomed off and hit the corner like this. Whoa! And I'm running my ass off. Boom. I hear his couch busting. I hit this gate right here. Boom. And I got shot in my leg and I fell. Just being there kind of spook a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
Destructive language was a risk factor for Enoch.
What's up, motherfuckers? Y'all give a shout out to me.
His attitude, I don't give a, and certainly he exhibited that day when we met. He didn't care if I was a teacher or anybody.
You stupid bitch!
He had a serious negative view of women. That was a big risk factor for him. Enoch had sold drugs.
Me and my partner used to grind in front of his house right here. We used to clock about $100 an hour.
His friends, fearship was a risk factor for him. Material values. Maybe the toughest one of all is family or environment.
Well, my little brothers, put that gun down. My little sister. Welcome to E-World. My little brother. Uh-oh. It's my brother's room. This is the kitchen. It's my mom coming from work. My mom, she worked very hard. Sometimes she worked 2 or 3 jobs. My dad and my mom had split up, and my mom had to take care of everything.
Joe Marshall knows that he can't do anything to change a teenager's home environment. So the club tries to counter that risk factor by being a surrogate family.
In Enoch's case, I became the father figure.
In Omega's extended family, Wilbur Coach Jiggets, a full-time volunteer, is the family elder. A career Army man and retired basketball coach, he is married and a grandfather.
I can play the point guard.
These children need to be reassured that somebody gives a damn about what happens to them. If they're not getting what Francis Cress Welsing calls lap time, we provide lap time. Look at that, E.
What?
The skyline, man.
Oh, okay.
With Enoch, most of my lap time is involved with listening.
The people that don't make it, they make me feel like I'm somebody, you know what I'm saying? Before I met Mr. Marshall, I wasn't even thinking about college. I changed my mind. I wanted to go to college because I looked up to Mr. Marshall so much and I see how educated he has been. That's what I told Marshall. I said, man, I'd rather be here trying 5, 10 years to get my GED or to be on the street and die in 2 or 3 years. That's how I look at the whole situation.
Although Enoch drops out of high school, with Omega's help, he enrolls in a course to prepare for a high school equivalency exam, or GED. To succeed, he must pass 4 exams. Joe Marshall and Coach don't know much about Enoch's educational background, but they are impressed by his intelligence and desire to go to college.
Okay, is that a clue? Enoch, I think, arrived last spring, and he came in just a really happy-go-lucky young man with a very short attention span. That's what I noticed right away. And in addition to that, he's really a handsome young man, and so he was into those girls.
Huh? You had a test today?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Science test.
You flubbed it, huh?
About 38. I missed about 2 points. All I need was 40.
Okay. And let me guess why that happened.
Man, I don't want to go home, man. I don't want to stay here.
Yeah, you ain't study.
I did study last night.
Did you?
I did,
last night?
Man. I didn't study. I studied last night for half
Just
an hour.
last night. You know why you frustrated? Because you know you can pass that shit, and you ain't done what you gotta do in order to get it done.
Man, I missed about 1 point. I missed about 1 point, dude. I started kind of too late to be trying to get my GED and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm 19 years old. Most kids by 19 be in their junior year in college. You know what I'm saying? I have been catching myself slipping around with my friends and things like that.
The ground that he's covering can all be undone with one slip. What they call friendship, what we call fearship, is a major problem for all of them, and Enoch's no exception. I mean, he's a likable kid anyway. People like him, so, you know, he likes being with the fellas. Most guys can't handle the boys. You know, it's like the blind leading the blind. They get pumped, and it's all over.
Friends did a stick up over at Denny's, and I was with them, believe it or not. They got up and walked out. I was like, damn, why these fools walking out? Why they ain't even finished eating? They came back in with guns. And robbed Denny's, and I was like, oh my God, I was stuck.
They challenge him, and that stuff is deep-seated and it's been there for a long time. And really, how he handles that, I think, is a big key.
As Enoch struggles to resist peer group pressure and to pass his first exam, he also has to deal with another problem.
You know, I want to get a job to help my mom out. That's another thing that's really bothering me, because my mom really want me to get a job to help her out, and I really want to do that.
But lacking a high school diploma, he fails to find work.
Trying to do shit that's right, and man, people ain't giving me a fair chance, man. It's really sad. Sometimes I think about selling dope again. Write your shit down, man.
The temptation to sell drugs hounds many young people who attend Omega's weekly support meetings. Joe Marshall appreciates their dilemma, but tries to give them something more than money to think about.
I look back on my childhood, I believe that you can make money legally. I actually believe that you could do that, because I was doing it. Those kind of jobs, as the economy has shifted, don't exist anymore. They're not as plentiful now as it was when I was growing up. That's the first thing, the lack of job. Number two, I barely saw 38 when I was a kid. But now we got access to anything. Weapons of war on the streets of America. That wasn't like it when I was a kid. The third one, I think, is the key. The biggest change between my growing up and growing up now is crack cocaine. And hand in hand with crack goes the guns. See, they go together. Now, that's what I mean by about crack. And I'm gonna say this because out of all this, I want you to understand, please never sell crack. This just ain't a plea. I want to explain to you why it's so devastating. Crack cocaine is the only agent, chemical or otherwise, that has stopped the African-American woman from mothering her child. African-American women have always taken care of their children. They put nothing before their child. But something was invented that can do something unnatural. And that is to stop the woman from taking care of the child. And in the process, it has also removed the men. You understand? The most important thing in any society, fundamental, is the raising of the children. You can't have a society that doesn't raise its children properly. You don't have society. You don't have civilization. What you have is chaos. And what crack cocaine has brought is chaos. When you don't have mothers and you don't have fathers, you have chaos. And a society, no one can survive in chaos. So that's why I'm begging with you, pleading with you, understand what you are fundamentally offering the balance of the way black people have been raised from the beginning of time. You can't sell crack. You can't. You just can't. You cannot condemn our people to that. You don't have the right. That's no way I can put it. I got to make you think that when you go out there and they put some dead presidents in front of you, and you are altering this. This is sacred. This is from the Creator. You can't do that.
Omega done taught me a lot, you know what I'm saying? They didn't bring me down to earth to where I could see, you know what I'm saying, there's more opportunities than drugs, man, it is.
I really want to go to college. That's all I want to do is go to college and prove to myself that I could be somebody.
Despite his newfound motivation, again, Enoch fails the GED exam. But there's a secret reason behind his failure, which he can no longer keep hidden.
There's some things I ain't told you about me, how I was raised and things.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. Let it flow.
Like, as you know, I ain't never been in kindergarten. I ain't never told you that, right?
No.
I ain't never been in junior high school.
Okay. Did you go to elementary school?
Never.
You didn't?
Never been in elementary.
Okay.
Kindergarten, junior high, 2 years of high school. I didn't see a book, Coach, straight up. I didn't see a book till I was 16 when I went out to my grandma, see my grandma. My grandma told me, I remember what happened. My grandma told me to get some flour out of the cabinet, right? Big old word say flour, you know, it started F. I opened the cabinet up. You know, I was looking, I was like, weird. She said, get that package right there. It was like, I was like.
And you couldn't read the word
yeah.
flour. Why didn't you go to school?
My mom wouldn't let me go to public school.
And what is her reason for that?
Her religion. Went to this private school. I call it a playground, really. I really didn't learn anything at school. I'm real concerned about my brothers because they don't go to public school.
They tell me about their church thing all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think the first step ought to be for us to talk to the mother?
Maybe a way of getting into this is to talk about Enoch.
That's right.
And his progress.
Okay.
You know, how he's doing, where we think his future might be. So I want to ease into it so this woman doesn't feel like we coming in.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You know, let me ask you. I'll call and ask.
And then you let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
She says, like I said, she said the school is fully accredited. You know, that you can make the most out of whatever school you go to, and it's up to the kids to take advantage of the education being offered by the school. And your mom feels that it's a real good place. And like I said, there's nothing you can
really do about
it.
You know, I didn't know the school was accredited. But what I did know, that I didn't really, you know what I'm saying, like going to school. And I didn't go, you know. And it wasn't a school, it was me. If I go ahead and get my education and maybe move on to college, it'd be a good example for my little brothers and sisters to follow.
Street university, the sidewalk class. Only time I seen the school was when I used to smash pass. Discovered intellect, time to redirect my mental. First things first, establish fundamentals, realize potential in order to achieve. First mountain time I conquer is my GED. See, these books got me whooped, but I'm in this to win this. No more dropping out, cause this is to the finish.
I ain't the smartest kid in the world, so I just hope people don't hate me for, you know what I'm saying, for trying, cause that's all I can really do.
And I'm gonna take this GED test Thursday. I want everybody to pray for me and hope I pass this time. Well, I am gonna pass this time because I've been working hard. I passed my test today for a change. I'm happy. You know, that make me feel like a winner.
Knew I was a winner since my very first appearance. Got my mind on my books and my books on my mind. My knowledge getting thick from the schoolhouse grind.
My mom and me got into it today. You know, she wanted me to get a job. She on my back. And she talked to me about the fact of me going to stay with my dad.
Enoch's divorced father lives in Los Angeles, and the prospect of having to move there is disturbing.
And I know if I go to LA, I know I'm gonna fuck up. So I feel like me going to Omega every day makes me a stronger person. And I really want to get a job so I can stay out here. It's hard, man. I'm still looking for a job. I'm gonna go fill out some applications and hopefully I'll get lucky and find a job.
During one of his regular visits to a Starbucks coffee house near Dogtown, Enoch finds his club membership is an unexpected advantage.
Talked to the boss, and he told me how he felt about me working with Omega. He was very proud to know that I'm working with a club like that.
I really want to thank you more than anything for doing right. You know, brother said, when you do right, everything's okay. That's right. Really, that's the bottom line. I know some brothers are struggling. Just keep doing right, man. If you do good things will come to you.
On this, you know what, day, got me a job. And I'm like hella happy. I really can't act. My boys catch me before they snap me. You know, I got me a job. I gotta get my identification and my stuff, you know. And I'm just gonna be killing it hard like that. It's already on it, right?
Yeah. Don't forget your timer. And when you're ready, just hit the start. And you remember the recipe for a cappuccino, right?
Hazelnut steam milk. Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
Good job. Did you drink cappuccinos?
I haven't ever tasted one but once.
Guess who will make the next one for them?
Double shot tall cappuccino. Thank you, sir. I missed like 2 days of school. And the job is hella cool with just the hours. Well, I guess there's no telling there. I failed my GED test Thursday. You know, it hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
What hours you working, man?
I work like from 2 to 2:30 to 10 at night. The boss is like he just like, me and him been talking for so long, like we just already know each other. He's so laid back. He's a cool white boy.
All right, folks, let me say this to you, son. I'm really happy about the way you're handling the job situation and all that. Let me caution you about something, okay? This job don't stack up to a hill of beans beside your education, okay? Your education is still your #1 priority. Okay?
I'm so mad.
If you follow our direction, one day you might own a coffee shop like the one you're working in. Okay? If you play this off because you had a little success at this little job, Okay, then you'll be working in coffee shops the rest of your life. Okay, we trying to put you in a position where you can buy one if you want. See the difference?
Yeah. I just feel laying down right now. Too much stress and too much pressure on me.
For the first time in his life, Enoch has goals that require persistent hard work and discipline.
There's no way we can answer that if we don't understand it.
And you see, they don't know how to struggle. They really don't understand what it is to work hard. Most of them are not really sure they can do that. So you gotta help them. You gotta show them how.
Marshall asked Margaret Norris, Omega's academic director, to help Enoch. A former school teacher and mother of 3 sons, Norris created Omega's ambitious academic program of tutoring and college prep classes.
Well, the academic component is actually life preparation, so that on one level where you can acquire basic reading, writing, speaking, and research skills, the process by which those skills are attained is that of looking into critical life choices, developing critical thinking skills, making good decisions.
Using examples from real life to teach academic concepts, Margaret Norris begins tutoring of Enoch in math and science.
Now let me give you an example of that right quick. You've seen on these commercials, these pregnancy tests, these home pregnancy tests that they can do.
When it's negative, it's,
What happens? Tell me about it.
when it's negative, it turns blue. When it's positive, it just turns pink. So.
Okay, exactly. So what does that tell you as far as what you see on the commercials? They're using a scientific method, right? To let you know, or let the girl know.
Not me.
You better not. I don't want no babies. I ain't ready for no babies either.
I ain't ready for no babies either.
All right, so I don't want that litmus paper to be turning any other colors. All right.
So pink, right?
Yeah. Well, what did you tell me pink was? No, I don't want you pink.
Blue.
I tell you what, let's
white.
just not do the things that make you have to dip it in there in the first place.
Just know that's you asking a big favor.
Enoch took his math test that he had flunked with a 39, I don't know, a couple times at least, and made a 65.
I feel like, man, it ain't nothing I can't do now because I passed that test. You know, they say I got the highest score in the class.
But this brother did something good. He really did something. When Coach said that he got a 39 that first test, he sat down and studied Fillmore and got a 65. Y'all need to give this brother a hell of a hand. I mean,
Man, it feel good. Well, you just don't know, it feel hella good to pass that test. And Mr. Marshall and Coach helped me out. Man, Miss Norris helped me out. She showed me that anything is possible, man. You know, I feel hella good.
Now why, yo, why did I slang cappuccino moms? Hollering about some snaps and I had to make it legal. All I got for hard work and then some. You win some and you win some. I refuse to lose, cause coach give me confidence for what I choose. Real soldiers see the end of their mission. I'm going all out for the #1 position.
Young brothers who got it together. And young brothers who are getting it together. Right here, sitting on my left side.
Yeah,
on my West Oakland side.
Dogtown. West O.
What's up, black people?
What is it like for a young 20-year-old brother trying to get his what? What are you going after right now?
My GED.
Trying
got
to get
one more
his
test,
GED.
and I'll be finished. And by this time next year, I want to be at a university, handle my business.
Okay.
Enoch became a street soldier basically by doing the things that the street soldier needs to do. One by one, he systematically eliminated the risk factors, then began to deal with his own anger, fear, and pain. And then finally, he adopted a new rules for living to replace the code of the streets that he lived by before.
And we stay members of the club for life. Club for life. I'm a member of Omega for life.
Joe Marshall's persistence in guiding Enoch's turnaround is not unusual.
We pick people up to get them to the meetings. We take them home. We do whatever it takes to get them on track.
For Marshall, working with black youth is a labor of love. While supporting his family on a school teacher's salary from 1987 to 1994, he also directed the club after school, full-time, and usually without pay.
Mandinka blood runs through me anyway, so I'm a fighter. If you love black people the way I love black people, if you feel about black people the way I feel about black people, you fight for them. And you were worth the fight. We were worth the fight. It's that simple. I love the kids. I love young people. A lot of them, they're victims. They've gotten the raw deal, but we can change that.
Marshall's deep concern and love for black youth is most when a club member succeeds.
This is a proposal submitted to Professor Sumter at Morris Brown College by Joe Thomas. Joe gang-banging, dope-dealing, Valencia Garden, Joe Thomas wrote that. For Trail Hill, long-jumping, Joe Thomas spent time in jail, graduated from high school anyway, wrote that. Now what's that worth it, Coach?
Perhaps no one shares Marshall's missionary zeal for saving young black lives more than Jack Jacqua, Omega's fiercely independent co-founder. Single and the son of a Hollywood agent, Jacqua is a former union organizer and school guidance worker.
Most all of my time is spent with those behind bars.
How are you? How you doing, Mr. Jack Omega?
Jack's work is quite significant to the club in that one might say it's the beginning step. He directs the young people to Omega.
Acting as Omega's advocate for youth in lockup, Jacqua works an average of 60 hours a week at Juvenile Hall.
3 meetings a week at Juvenile Hall. They're Omega meetings run by myself, and we do bring in some outside peer counselors.
One of Jack's peer counselors at this meeting is Kai Butler, a 14-year-old ex-offender. In the coming months, Kai's resolve to stay on the outside of Juvenile Hall will be severely tested.
Y'all look like y'all about 26.
He took those out of my book.
Does it look like this one?
Hey, Mom. Look how bow-legged I am. I always been bow-legged, though.
Runs in our family. Grandma, your great-grandma was like that.
Great-grandma Irene right there.
He's dead.
This Grandma Tilly.
All right.
She been through it all. It's just I wasn't old yet, though. But I done heard a whole bunch of stories on how she got like that. To me, my mother is, man, the nicest mother in the world.
On the surface, 14-year-old Kai Butler's family life seems to be happy, secure, almost ideal. But behind this portrait lies a far different reality. A family in distress, in a community of predators, and a susceptible adolescent caught in the middle.
Kai is a very unique child. He's the most unique one that I have as far as his ability to get along with people. And I guess you call that charisma. He was a gifted student, which he still is. Since Kai been in this world, I've been ill with cancer. They diagnosed it when Kai was born.
She got like that, and she had all of us, you know. My daddy was dogging her too.
My husband had to help take care of me, so he lost his job, and we weren't able to get any type of help. And subsequently, drugs came in and everything just snowballed. I even got messed up on it for a little while with him. When Kai got a little older, I guess when he got about 11, 12, Kai became more aware of the things that were going on in the home and with my husband.
Then he would get angry when he didn't see any positive results because I had become a codependent for my husband and assisting him instead of making a stand.
You can have a daddy, but then you gotta have a father, you know what I'm saying? A father that take care of you. A daddy is just somebody who made you. I trip on the father. I ain't never had no father.
Kai's father, Stuart Butler, has been in and out of Kai's life since childhood.
Oftentimes, my children wanted to have more than I was able to provide. They took it upon themselves to go steal something, and from that incident, Kai and his brother, they ended up in juvenile. That's the point in which he started messing around with drugs, with the marijuana.
Kai's first arrest was for shoplifting, and he was released to return home pending sentencing. But he missed several court dates and was arrested again. Because of Kai's father's absence and her physical condition, Kai's mother requests that Kai be sent to a group home.
So now I'm just here trying to change my life around. I'm not trying to, I am, you know.
I always felt, and I still feel, that Kai will become the best that he can be once he get away the cobwebs and try to find out who Kai really is.
Kai is now living 20 miles from his crime-ridden neighborhood and is attending high school regularly. He is accepting guidance not only from Jack Jacqua, but also from Willis Thompson, a savvy ex-con and juvenile hall volunteer. So Kai is optimistic about his prospects when he counsels his peers at juvenile hall.
Only way if I come back is a mistake. It ain't gonna be no mistakes. What I gotta go back for? I know I'm not finna go back to the streets. You know, what's up, officer? I got ID, got license, social security, one. Man, I got a briefcase of things you need. Wow, there you go. But it's a lot of things, it's a lot of opportunities. Like I said before, when opportunity knocks, that's opportunity, y'all. Come in, have some coffee, whatever, want some juice. Hey, opportunity, you want some cake or something? I got some falafels back there, tofu, potatoes, what you need? Opportunity is here, y'all. And he only come like, that's just a once in a lifetime chance you get. So what you finna do when opportunity come to your door? You know, what you finna do?
One month after this speech, he is back at juvenile hall as a prisoner.
I came in here for possession of some marijuana and a knife. When I came back, I was like, oh, I messed up. I had a lot of things going for me too. Whenever you go to jail or you incarcerated, everything is clear sign. You can see it better, and you're like, damn, I did that.
So if you did go home now, do you think that, I mean, really, what would be different? I mean, you still got, you know, would be tripping with school, probably still be tripping with weed.
But all I gotta do is just don't go post, and I ain't got them problems.
By posting, Kai means selling drugs. He was planning to sell marijuana on a small scale when he was arrested for possession of a few ounces. Because he's a first-time drug offender, Kai is released on probation, this time to return home. Jack Jacqua tries to keep tabs on Kai when he attends Omega meetings at juvenile hall, and through Willis Thompson, who lives on Kai's block.
Willis is like, it's my uncle. Like, to me, I call him Uncle Willis. I had to meet him going through juvenile, you know. But he just like a helping brother, though. No, he gave me a little job.
I need you to strip them all, and then you're gonna paint them.
Since you want to do some painting now. You don't want to sweep no more floors. You want promotion.
I want to paint something like that.
You want to paint a car.
Yeah.
Paint the equipment first, and then maybe you can paint the Falcon.
I don't have no friends. But him and Jack, I can say they were true friends. They got my back.
In addition to working for Willis, Kai also agrees to keep a video diary of his progress, using a camera supplied by the documentary producer.
I just be glad that I'm out. I'm glad that I'm out. that I'm on the streets again.
He seems to be a real interesting kid, and we're trying to move him hopefully into the next phase. He hasn't been around, you know, he hasn't been to the class, he hasn't been to the meetings, and apparently Jack wants him to come to the meetings now.
It's Tuesday night, so here's it's advice time, it's good information time, it's inoculation time. I think the cruelest thing that's happened to black people, see, is that they are told certain things will work that won't work. If somebody told you selling dope is gonna help you come up, they setting you up. And if you know what's good to me is that brothers are supposed to be the masters of the setup, homie, am I right? They supposed to be the masters of the game. They supposed to know what a setup is, right? They supposed to be able to smell it. Shit, you got to be kidding. You've been set up better than anybody in the history of mankind. Do it every day. Walk into prison like it's a hotel. 50% of the people in prison is black, and you ain't learned a damn thing yet. Getting ready to go there maybe tomorrow.
I went to Omega's tonight. It was cool, you know what I'm saying? It was cool.
For a time, Kai avoids trouble by going home after school and staying inside. But in his neighborhood, staying out of harm's way is no easy task.
I don't believe Kai was actually afraid of this neighborhood or any other, but he was definitely intimidated by it.
A few days ago, some things happened. I got into a fight because I was on this turf. And so he hit me. He hit me real good, you know? He hit me pretty good.
We're on Bertha now, a street that Kai and I both live on. About 2 blocks away, Harbor was a much more menacing problem for him. In fact, we'll lock the doors. This is Harbor. At night, that's not a nice place to be. Well, guys on this street are generally bigger. They have a much worse reputation. That's my family. What you doing, cousin? I ain't getting out. Yeah, you know I'm not getting out.
Kai Butler's neighborhood, Hunters Point, is aptly named. It has one of the highest murder rates in San Francisco.
Something did happen yesterday, though, man. Some people died yesterday, got shot.
And none of the sections is worse than Double Rock, which residents also call the kill zone.
Today, something did happen. I got played for some money. We just start fighting, you know what I'm saying? Just start fighting. Try to be a player and a hustler. You know what I'm saying? And a square at the same time, you know what I'm saying?
Kai says he has been in 10 fights in his first few months back in Hunters Point. More ominously, a drug dealer in Double Rock is demanding payment for the marijuana police had confiscated from Kai in Berkeley.
Guys that I dealt with before I went to jail, I owed lots of money. And I was like, Kai, you what's up with my money? Coming around, action.
Feeling frightened and vulnerable, Kai attends his second Omega meeting.
Did white folks do this? I say hell no. Black folks did this. This brother was shot in the chest. He was shot in the chest, poured gasoline on him and set him on fire. This happened. And this is like Mr. Marshall was talking about, it's all behind drugs. Brothers and sisters, have we forgot what happened to us during slavery? This is what we doing to each other now?
Yesterday, I went to Omega's, and I was high. I had hit some weed.
Drugs block anyone from coming into the person. Drugs also block a person's ability to come to terms with himself because you're not dealing with the individual. Instead, you're dealing with the drug.
I got in trouble with teachers on Friday. Just my mind wasn't focused on what I was supposed to be doing.
Like what though?
Like I went to this chair and he told me to get into a different chair. And the second time he told me, and I just said something back.
Like what?
I don't know what you're saying.
What? No, I don't know what you're saying.
Some old crazy shit.
He came back February 21st. First referral after he came back, February 24th. In fact, he got 3 in one day. Things like cursing the teachers, being disrespectful, being loud, being the center of attraction, in fact. Hanging up the telephones when the teachers try to call the dean's office. Things like that.
We were going up to Clear Lake for the weekend, so there's about 30 of us that go. So he was angry because my husband had to work. So he kept on talking, raising his voice to me and saying disrespectful things about his dad. And I said, Kai, I don't want to hear anymore. And he just kept right on and on and on. And then at the end, he said, you tripping and you need to get you another man. And I just, it just hurt me.
He's got a lot of anger, fear, and pain. Anger, fear, and pain. And, you know, I know that I don't care how bright you are, how much you read, how much you know, if you don't deal with the anger, fear, and pain, it's not going to work.
This week's kind of crazy, you know? Cut my hair off. Got in 2 fights with my brothers. They wanted me to join the cliques because I cut the hair. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be feeling like I gotta go to a gang, you know? Yeah, I was just outside playing with them kids, you know what I'm saying? Dude hit me in my eye. Hell, I gotta watch my back for police, juice, you know what I'm saying? My so-called homies, and just people on the streets.
Any of you been called bad names by your parents? Tell me. How do you deal with that?
Just walk away from it.
It's gonna get to you one time, bro. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna get to you.
Sound like you talk from experience there.
I still experience this day. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get to you. Watch, man, I be in my room sometimes, be wanting to cry. Watch, man, it's gonna be some family problems. You just gonna be shed some tears. But I'm just letting you know, bro. You either gonna just, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna go off one day, bro. I'm telling you, he's gonna get to you. He's gonna be on your shoulder, and he's gonna go off, man. I'm telling you, it ain't no joke. Love ain't no joke. Family problems ain't no joke.
Kai is mad as hell at his mother, but he can't explain it and can't put it out there to her because he loves her so much. And she's a nice lady, but he has watched his mother be a victim of abuse for all these years and continues to be an abused person, and he's so mad at that, but he doesn't know how to deal with it. So I think he's equally as mad at his mother as he is at his father.
In a case where Kai expected his father to intervene and was somehow let down by his father not showing up or not showing an interest, Kai would then shut down from everything going on around him.
This morning, I woke up and my son, Kai Butler, wasn't home. He didn't come home last night.
I was like on Fitzgerald, Gilman, Double Rock.
He came in very arrogant, you know, with an attitude. And I asked him, where has he been?
The guys were coming around. What guys? It don't make a difference. Arguing with my mother.
And then he said, well, you don't know what's going on, Mom. You just don't feel me. People are after me. They may come here and shoot through the windows and stuff. I said, well, why would you even put your family in that kind of situation?
Because I'm arguing with my mother and my dad and like, hey, man, don't talk like that to my wife. I'm like, Fulio, you better get out of my face, you know what I'm saying?
So my husband started manhandling him. And so he started cursing and everything. And then they ended up down here and Kai started tussling with them, and they had a tussle going on down here. And I told my husband, just make them go. All of a sudden, we heard all this crashing happening back at the back window.
Because it's my house. I paid rent there. It's my house. I break the windows out if I want to. I break them out.
And it lasted for a good 5 minutes, just constant crashing, breaking of glass.
I broke the windows out. I'm harming the house. The house didn't hit me or nothing. My dad hit me. I should have threw the rocks at my dad.
Days pass before Mrs. Butler learns that Kai has been seen at a certain address in Double Rock.
Here goes 1065 Fitzgerald, as you can see right next to the 1065. You have quite a few people hanging out. 24 hours a day.
That confirms it for Kai's mother. Kai has reconnected with a drug dealer from his past. More weeks pass, and still no word from Kai.
So if Kai doesn't get picked up, what's likely to happen to him? Wait till he's 18. That's when the big show begins. State prison, you know. Kids, they, you know, are arrested for a minute and then they wind up getting, you know, going out again. The point is, they just let them out here. Set them up. It's a setup.
I was down in my little spot, slanging dope and weed. It was just crazy nights and days. I used to sleep in my cousin's car sometimes. Like when you pull them all-nighters and you just making money all night, have a little gun in the bushes, money in the pocket. So if somebody rolls through trying to jack, oh, you got my money, but now all I'm finna go do is, as soon as you turn my back, I'm finna go to the bush, get my gun, and when you run and you turn your bye, I'm gonna let you have it.
After 2 months, Kai is arrested in San Francisco trying to sell drugs to an undercover police officer.
Unlawfully selling marijuana.
He is convicted.
And juvenile would be the best place for him right now in Youth Guidance Center. And I feel for his safety, as well as the rest of the family, but more so for Kai's sake, that it would be best for him.
Kai Butler is once again released on probation, this time to a group home in suburban San Mateo, where he enrolls in high school.
I'm in a group home, in this group home. It's ran by Donovan and Marguerite Blythe. And they got a daughter named Brittany. My boy Don be acting like a dad. He be like, Kai, just get it done, man.
Can you pass me a salad dressing, please, young man? Thank you, sir.
I'm getting it done, Don.
I hear you. Let's talk about your plans now. What you call, you know, getting it done.
I just don't want to sell drugs and stuff no more. I thought about talking to somebody about my attitude and my anger problem, but I don't like to. I'd rather deal with it myself.
Kai is a very savable, workable, very kid who could do something great in his life, but the way he's going, I don't see anybody really out there to... I mean, it's not that there aren't people out there to lead him, but there's just, you know, he refuses to see that, that light.
I don't really have nothing but to say what Don says. Get it done. Get it done. That's it. Y'all, you know what? Y'all can, when the show is over, y'all should cut it with that. Get it done.
The treatment process is threefold. Kai never dealt with adequately any of the 3 steps, either eliminating the risk factors from his life, dealing with the anger, fear, and pain, and of course, not adopting new rules for living to replace the old code that he had been living by. The most important rule for living we give them is life. There is nothing more precious, more important than a person's life. The second rule for living involves change. If you want things to change, you've got to change yourself. The third rule for living is respect.
To me, I lost my self-respect because they arrested me right in the class.
What it matters is what you know about you.
Respect can only come from one place, within yourself.
That's the first thing you're supposed to learn.
The fourth rule for living involves friendship. We have to refashion and redefine that concept for them, and we tell them simply that a friend is someone who will never lead you to danger.
Yourself in danger.
The treatment method of the Omega Boys Club is a deliberate and carefully thought through program. But it wasn't that way when Marshall started the club.
When we first started the Omega Boys Club, we really had no idea what we were going to do. In the early days, we did a lot of typical activities that organizations that work with youth do, and we began to realize that they could get a lot of those things elsewhere, but they couldn't get from us what they were getting from us, which was working on the way they thought, working on the mentality. They could only get that from us.
In the course of this year, the club's quest to change the mentality of violence-prone youth leads Marshall and Margaret Norris to a striking new idea, namely that like viral and bacterial diseases, social problems also can be contagious.
I call it hood disease. How do I know brothers are sick?
And the concept proves useful in the struggle of Donald Gregory.
Well, Donald is an 18-year-old young man who's been through a lot in his life. He was, been a part of the social services system in San Francisco ever since he was very little.
I started working with Donald back when he was 10 years old. He came to a facility treatment center that I was a counselor at the time, and we worked with him until he was 14. Donald's real serious trouble started after he left us.
My uncle gets out of prison. About a week later, he comes in and talks to me, and he says, I got this partner, like, and we're finna do this little lick, this little bank lick. That's kind of out of my league. I'm not a robber. I've never robbed anybody, and I sell dope. But my job ain't that difficult. We get out the bank, no problem. Ain't no yelling, no running, no shooting. We're on our way home. Unidentified police car gets behind us. This time we got helicopters, several police cars. I'm like, man, this is some movie type stuff. We running for about 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. I get away. Now this is like 3 days later, like, I'm like, damn, I ain't heard from my uncle. What's going on, like? Next thing I know, the police got guns to my head and flashlights all in my face. I was sitting 6 months at LCR.
He's involved in a major bank robbery. He's lucky he's not in state prison.
I was sent to juvenile at 10 for petty theft. I think stealing from a store or something. Well, I've been to juvenile hall about maybe 18, 20 times. It started off in stealing cars, joyriding. Just grew up kind of rough. Trail Hill, Connecticut, coming up. We coming through to the house I used to stay in. Yes. This is my mother.
Hello.
This is my sister, Lovely.
Babysit my cousin.
And this is my house.
Yeah, we do need a big house.
It's a bear that I got my first time at Disneyland when I was about 11.
Right here of Huckleberry Finn.
Artifacts that my mother has collected over the years. Picture of my mother when she was 19.
And your brother.
Pregnant with my brother DeParis. So my sister Amina. She's very tired right now. She just woke up. There was so many kids around the house and everything, 6 kids running in and out and everything. It was pretty much just free for all.
He came from a didn't know his father. His mother was a drug addict and totally incapable of taking care of him.
I used to fear coming home after school because of beatings.
I just have a paper here in my hand, a document which would indicate early on when he was 9 years old, Donald was on many occasions subject to physical abuse, obviously also emotional abuse, documented many times over.
We called them whoopings back then, but as I'm older and I can look back on it, whooping stopped a long time ago. I was beat.
This is where Donald came to when he was 10 years old. When Donald first came to the program, it was clear almost from the first day that Donald was very special. Right from the start, it was we sort of would joke about him becoming an attorney because he would question everything. He would question the counselors, question the administrators if he thought something was wrong, and often he was right.
We got to know each other, and my stay there was up. about 2.5 years. The judge said that that my family situation wasn't stable enough for me to return home. Mr. Pitt had spoken to me, and they asked me if I would like to come into their home.
Well, I think the first time Don mentioned for Donald to come to our home, I thought, oh my goodness, I'd never keep that kid still. And so then I talked to him too, and he really wanted to come at that time, and we hit it off just great.
Donald got into public school down in Bolinas, went in labeled as a special ed student, and then he came to the local West Marin Elementary School. That was in the middle of the 7th grade. And at that point, he just started to excel.
I just took a little interest in what they were teaching me at that time. They were showing me different things rather than, I'm like little stuff. I got a challenge, and that's what I like the most, so I conquered it.
I think if Donald had continued at the school, playing the sports the way he does, he would have easily had scholarships to go into college. That's how good he is. Of course, he's good at without trying, so if he ever tries at something, he's going to excel quite a bit.
The first award that I am presenting tonight is for academic effort and growth. It is really a recognition of extraordinary motivation. When I think of how far this person has come these past years with us, and starting even before entering West Marin School as a student, I am indeed so very proud. In fact, I'm in awe of it. I am going to present this award for academic effort and growth on behalf of the upper grade team to Donald Gregory.
It was the second quarter at Tamales High School that I was in, and I've been working hard to keep things tight there, playing football and things. I get home late from practice, and my PO calls me, and they say that they're going to be coming up to see me and see how I feel about going home.
For whatever reasons, the probation department, because he was still on probation at the time, decided that that was okay for him to return home.
At home, it wasn't what my PO told me to be, that it would be. Pretty much the same thing. House full of kids, mother being on welfare. This was my situation, and this was how I was going to make it better this way, by selling dope for me and furnishing the house, buy my sister's clothes, give them money or whatever, just to sort of make the house whole. Since there wasn't a father figure, so it was up to me,
Material values have been a predominant risk factor in Donald's life.
Out in the dope gang life, it was pretty amazing. Of course, it felt good to be able to walk around with numerous $100 bills in your pockets. On the outs, they would say that I was up. Up meaning driving 5.0s. I had 3 of them.
Certainly Donald lived by what we call the code of the streets. He lived by the commandments of the hood. Thou shalt get thy money on. Thou shalt do what thy gotta do. Thou shalt get thy respect.
You got your boys out there on the set. You throwing up the peace sign, getting it out, firing up a joint with them or whatever.
When the uncle comes along and further exacerbates Donald's situation, shows that a serious risk factor for Donald was family and his environment.
Well, I've been at Log Cabin Ranch for about 5 months and a week. I expect to get out about April 11th.
So, you are ready, you do feel like you're ready.
So I'm nervous and I'm happy, so that's keeping me on that study line. I can't celebrate yet.
What we'll do is process him, and then he can be released. We'll do a permanent release, But as far as him living in your home, we don't have a problem with that, you know.
Up until this point, he was with us as a foster child, so, you know, we had some control over, you know, his actions and whereabouts, that sort of thing, whereas now it's going to be all on him. He's an adult now.
While on probation, there are certain conditions that you have to follow. You are to possess no weapons, nothing that can cause injury to somebody else. You are not to possess or use any drugs or alcohol while on probation.
What is your feeling about smoking weed?
I can't call it.
Donald can be a complete bust. He was once before. So I can't predict. I can only say that he has within his hands an enormous amount of God-given talent. But I don't know what he really down deep intends to do with that talent. I couldn't tell you.
All these faces, it's like straight flashbacks. It's like I'll be in a zone, like a time zone. When I'm back though, like, you know, a lot of people still remember me and they're glad to hear that I came back. It kind of feels bad that, you know, I gotta make up stories of where I've been for like the last year or so. I haven't chosen to tell anybody about it, but I'm sure, you know, like, there's rumors or something.
Is that other form in there that tells what your schedule is? These are the dates you remember talking about writing them in your calendar. Make sure you have all those in there.
I could have George put you through the workout, Coach Adams, and that would be the best thing. I mean, he can
go for it.
Breathe out in the contraction. 9. Breathe out. Come on. 10. 4. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 3. Good. All right. Good work.
Well, was our offensive left tackle. He just got offered a scholarship to the University of Minnesota.
Minnesota, huh?
You can schedule your classes by phone now. You might want to take that. It's a summer school thing.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I gotta start looking for work out here. I'm sure I could find something to do, you know, have a little pocket change. Like I said, I'm gonna be studying for the GED and things, and hopefully I can knock that out pretty soon, you know, so I can get in this college. I had one of those boring days, and I was just thinking about how I feel I feel awkward to not have a vehicle or not have as much money as I'm used to. I call the DMV, like, try to get my license, and I got $1,000 worth of tickets. So I ain't gonna be driving for a while unless I get me a job quick, like. So I gotta come up with $1,000. Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll probably be going into the city to go to a meeting, get to chop it up with the boys and everything, and Jack, you know how it go. Today, I was on the hill. I'm not really supposed to be up on Potrero Hill, by the way, but I was up there, you know, just because, I mean, I was born up there. So I got to go back and see the day-to-day, what's happening. Yeah, this my boys on the hill. One of my boys just got robbed, shot in the ass. He hobbling around. Police snatching up people. Everything moving fast in the ghetto, you know, and I'm glad that I'm not just caught up in that current. I went to Miss Norris's meeting also.
This model, I need you to help me. Okay, we're gonna discover together. And it's not all complete, all right? I've been playing with this disease model. Y'all know I talk about heart disease and all those disease models. AIDS. What's the end result of having a sickness like AIDS? Yeah, right? See, I think brothers are infected with a disease too. I call it hood disease. How do I know brothers are sick? Huh? They dying. That's very plain, right? They're dying or they're going to prison. You guys are scared to death of AIDS because it leads to death, but it's also what? Highly contagious. How's hood disease transmitted? Person to person, right? I mean, anybody who's infected with hood disease gets it from the homie. See, what the community needs is cures and doctors. This brother's not a doctor. He has gone from getting rid of the disease to be going back to the community to cure people. We need more doctors.
Donald had previously been in contact with Omega, but this time around, Donald engaged in the treatment process wholeheartedly.
I just been determined on setting my life straight. I've been doing little things to prepare myself, like taking the GED and whatnot. I'm gonna be done with that, you know, before school starts, and I'm going to college at Marin.
Okay, so this is the paper that you did. You say inner city kids get high for many reasons. High? In what way?
Smoke weed, marijuana.
Yeah, you have to add this to this. So what I want you to do is I want you to take this part and take it at the bottom, and then do something on your peer pressure and something on the form of protest. Okay, Donald, let me see what you've done here. Have you finished?
Yeah, I finished it up. There you go.
Why did you read it for me?
Inner city kids get high on marijuana for many reasons. The main reason is that it releases them from reality. When people get their hands on real potent weed, they enter a fantasy-like world. When living a very chaotic lifestyle, people need scapegoats to rid themselves of problems that they don't know how to deal with. So what do? They get high. That's it. All right.
Good job.
What is it about the streets that just seems to lure you, overpower you? It just kind of acts like quicksand and just draws you in? What is it? What do you get when you go? What do you see in the streets?
Action, whatever's going on.
All right.
We got everybody.
It's a straight kickoff. The sideshow.
Sideshow.
That's where you want to be.
Okay, explain that. Break that down. What's the action? What's going on?
All right, now I'm knowing most of y'all in here like dog fights. I mean, we love seeing dogs get shook up, and it's like they said, we want to come see something happening there too. If it ain't a dog fight, we gonna have another attraction, either a fat dice game. You just want to see that negativity, even if you don't want to be in it, you still want to see it. That's like horror movies. We watching Jason, we ain't want to see Jason for real, but we finna watch him get off on cats, and that's just the way it be. You just be on the set, and if your set ain't popping, you finna go to the next set.
HIV we describe to them as hood-infected virus. If you don't do something about hood virus that you contract, it will turn into full-blown AIDS. AIDS meaning A.I.D.S, standing for Addicted to Incarceration and Death Syndrome.
You put yourself in the disease's way, and you say, come on, HIV, come on and get me. You have to help yourself out
You gotta
and
go
run
somewhere.
for your life.
So I'm stopping at Foot Locker. You gonna give me some running shoes? I'm gonna be up out of there quick.
Donald was one of those rare individuals who saw not only the differences between his changing self and the other young men out there, but saw what they had to do to get to where he was.
Tuesday, when I came to the Omega meeting up on Betrayal Hill, that was a very serious meeting for me. I talked about my mother being on addicted to drugs and having a case of hood sickness. I'll be wrong to say I think she has hood sickness. I know she got it. I see her just destroying herself, and it's like I can't really do nothing about it but just watch. And you know, so it's like I'm just a bystander on watching moms just go down. And I go home every night and think about, you know, how can I change that?
I just walked in, I just heard you say something about mom being on drugs or something like that. My mama has been on drugs ever as far as I can remember, you know what I'm saying? But see, brother, the first thing you have to do is understand that your mama's sick. Like I understand my mother's sick. She ain't gonna change, man, not for you and not for no one else. You don't get your mother, you get the drug.
I mean, there's nothing in God's name or will that I can do to change her. I can set an example like I've been trying to do for the years. I tried to set bad examples, thinking if I did bad, then she would have to come help me and be forced to change that way. That didn't work. I set good examples to where she could feel like she didn't have to worry about me, and that doesn't even work. So I'm at a stalemate, and I've come to the conclusion that that I need to stop grieving over her. But then again, that's how do you stop grieving about your mother?
The proof of our success is when Donald Gregory gets out, gets cured, stays clean, and goes away and does whatever he wanted to do. And if that's college, we're able to help him. We go to his college graduation in 4 years.
This last year football team, throwing this gear right here. Okay, we finna get profile right here. Now y'all see the yokes. Put these on, these gonna guide you.
Less than 48 hours to kickoff. Be ready here.
Less than 48 to kickoff.
Left foot lead. Come on, Mo. Come on, Mo. Good.
I've got a job now. These are the trucks that we get to use. This is my uniform. Do you like the badge? Boom. Boom. Just a little bucket I bought. But this is my driver's license for now. I paid off a lot of tickets to get these L's, and now I'm legit and I can't be stopped.
Donald just scored his first touchdown in college football.
When I go back to the set and I hang out with my boys, they often tease me about living out in Marin with white people. I understand like who I am. I mean, I'm black. My parents were black. I am black. I'm not light-skinned, and I love being black.
You got your birth certificates up here? You might want to check this out.
He was 22, so
Do you know where
40.
he is?
He 40 then, huh?
Yeah.
Pops is 40, he OG.
Do you know where he's at all? No idea? Yeah, see if we can see if he's around.
So Mom's is 38?
Look how many Donald Gregory's there are. Well, these are just the ones in the western United States. There's a lot of them.
Donald Gregory Jr.
Yeah, let's see if there's a junior here.
No, try LA.
Well, I got California. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in California.
Call them all?
Would you want to try to do that? Not now, huh?
I was just talking about that last night. It's like, yeah, I was talking to my friend about that. I was like, he late though. It's like I don't need no father no more. He late on that. So it wouldn't make a difference.
It took a long, long time, and I'm not sure that Donald really ever trusted any of us completely until really recently.
He was so much in the system growing up that he attached us to the system, no matter what. And I think even, like Don said, until just recently, I think it's finally dawned on him. When I said, I love you, he took it seriously and that he really believed me.
I know it impacted him greatly the day that he had a sentencing hearing. We went down there to the juvenile hall in San Francisco. Before we went, we had called some people around here that had known Donald to go with us, and we got one of his teachers from the elementary school, one of his teachers from the high school, and a couple of the staff from Full Circle School, and ourselves, and we sort of all walked into the courtroom at that same time, and Donald...
He was so surprised, I think, because I don't think he believed that we would be there.
I guess you could say I was blessed with a miracle to have two people take me in and care for me and nourish me and give me the support that I had needed and didn't receive as a youngster, but I was still missing. Well, they filled in those gaps, and I'm thankful for it. And all I can say is that I love them as much as they love me.
You can do that. You can do that. Yes.
Smoke.
Special ed Jack. Jack knew me while I was in juvenile hall, my first encounter and the previous encounters, and on the outs. So we had this bondage, me and Jack. He sort of provided for me, I could say.
It's way cool. On when I came over the bridge today, there was a sign that said Marin College in San Quentin. See what I'm saying? Huh. And if I followed the computer, I would have gone to see you in San Quentin. You see what I'm saying? But then you beat the odds. I came to the college instead.
That's right where I should be. College of Marin, taking care of business. But the question is, what made me click? What made me choose to go the route that I went? This positive route than the negative route. In juvenile hall, if I can remember right, I was in my room just upset. And Jack said, here you are again, back in the slave quarters. And God had given you chances before. And he kept asking me, what makes you think that God is going to give you another chance? How many times are you going to play with your own life and think that God is going to forgive you and give you another chance? I thought to myself, I said, I've been making a lot of promises to other people. Telling my grandmother I'm gonna do right. Telling my mother I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Telling Jack I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But I was never telling myself what I was gonna do. And before I was sent to log cabin, I made a promise to myself. I said, I'm gonna take care of business and live an honest life.
Well, this is the dean's list. You know, that's really good. For the first time you've gone back into school, make honor roll for the college. You make the dean's list. I have you know. That's really good.
What makes me different from other kids in the ghetto? Let me show y'all what's up with it, Kurt. Look at my boys one time. They see an illusion of drugs and violence. And I think I'll be all right to call it a sarcastic way of life. You can line 10 people up, and you can tell them, don't walk around this corner because it's a firing range, and if you step foot over that line, you will be executed. You'll see 10 people walk through there, getting bullet holes ripped through their heads and pierced through their body, and that last one, they say, all right, I'm not gonna go. It's like you gotta see so much suffering and pain before they understand, and that's what's happening in society. And I mean, I pray that they wake up, you know.
For us, we look at violence and the trouble that these kids get into as an illness, as a malady, as a disease. To them, it looks like health. But we know now that it's treatable, that they're sort of victims of unprotected social relations with each other. Enoch, Donald, I think they've been treated. They're on their way to immunity. Kai, we can still got a chance to be treated if we can get him into the doctor's office. For us, we really don't underestimate the pathology that we're up against. We now know what we have to do to help them stay alive and free. College education for the kids has always been, it's like the icing on the cake. Joe is the man, the first one. Morris Brown graduated. Joe working everywhere. We sent our first group of 8 collegians away in our second year in existence. It was 1988. Only one to date has graduated. We revamped our scholarship program, and we brought in our academic director, Margaret Norris, who just changed the whole thing.
But thanks to Omega, I'm on the right track. And I hit a 4.0 my first semester.
My name is Otis Mills, and I'm on my way to Tennessee State University.
Omar, they heard your name. I know who you are. Omar, stand up. Omar graduated from Long Beach State, getting ready to take the LSAT on his way to law school.
In the last 3 years, we've had 30 college graduates. 30 graduates, that's great for us. Well, I think the one thing that hasn't changed, that's a constant throughout our discovery and our quest to save young people, is our love for them, our compassion for them, our commitment to them. You know, Jack and I and Margaret and Coach made the commitment that we would be here for the duration. I think that's the key in the whole process. And we need people who are willing to do that. That's the first step, is being able to love and commit to saving our young people.
And all y'all juveniles, when you get 17 and a half, you better really start thinking about it. Because once you're 18, it's all over. You're going to the big boys. Straight penitentiaries. No more juvenile halls, no more boys camps. You gonna be ready for that? It's real life. You got to get ready. Stop playing the game, or at least switch teams.
Major funding for this program is provided by the Ford Foundation. Additional funding was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the following funders.
To purchase a video cassette of this program or obtain information about